Tethys Petroleum is building an oil and gas exploration and production business based in Central Asia with projects in Kazakhstan and Georgia. It's recently changed its chief executive. It's going through an interim phase at the moment, and the interim CEO is Kenneth May. He comes into a company that's a shadow of its former self, with shares having plummeted to over 60 pence a share 4 years ago, now just over a penny today. Ken joins us now here in the studio, I'm pleased to say. It's good to talk to you. Thanks indeed for joining us as interim chief executive. Hopefully, I know at some point, maybe confirmed as full CEO of the business. I want to talk first of all about what you've walked into here, what you've agreed to take on, because as I said at the opening there, the company is a shadow of its former self. Those that have been invested over the last 4 years have seen a big deterioration in their market capitalisation interest in the business.
And I think that's one of my first issues, is to try to improve that. And what we've tried to do is to greatly reduce cost. Of course, the last quarter was not good results, but it takes time to do that. And after that, the board approved a optimization program, which will further reduce our expenses by approximately $2.5 million. Of course, that takes some time because a lot of that is in the reduction of staff, and you have to properly notify and give, it just takes a period of time to do that. But we do anticipate approximately $2.5 million in reduction there. We're aggressively seeking capital, and we need to do a Capex program and drill additional wells, because gas wells decline, therefore your revenue declines. Okay,
let's pick up on that point and go back to see, I think it was the beginning of August when you were appointed as interim CEO, and I know at that point there was an announcement made that you were hoping that there was going to be full recapitalisation, which I think was going to take effect on the beginning of September with a company called Olisol. Investors will know recently there's been not particularly good news from there, and in fact I think only half the amount of money that's been put up front has come through from Olisol at the moment. Where is the company with the recapitalisation plan?
As you said, there was an announcement last weekend. We continue to work with Olisol and to remedy that situation. It's their desire and our desire to do so, but because there was a timeline that was missed, we felt that we had to make that announcement to the market. But as I just left a telephone conference call with them prior to coming to this, so we are aggressively pursuing that, and we're also looking at additional Capex revenue.
I think the Olisol money that was expected was something like, what, 9.8 million Canadian dollars, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
How much more money does the company need to recapitalise and start drilling? I think the Clemente well, I should think, is your next target, isn't it?
Well, we have approximately, we have a Capex program that we would like to do that would drill shallow wells and do some seismic work. And if that were, if we have the Capex to do that, that would be approximately, say, $15 million. Clemente as a well would probably be in the range of $6.5 to $7 million. But those would be the two beginning Capex programs that we feel that we could actually, I think within a year's time, that we could generate positive cash flow.
Okay, and this is in Kazakhstan, isn't it?
It's in Kazakhstan.
How far away is it from the Doris production that you've got at the moment? Because I know you're already producing within Kazakhstan, aren't you? You're producing gas at the Doris well.
We have gas and oil production there, and the shallow gas just extends the field that is already there. So the compressors and all of our infrastructure would already be utilized. So the gas wells would just have to be connected in, and this would be a fairly cheap operation.
So when you're going to start drilling Clemente, what's the plan there? I mean, I guess part of it is having the money on the balance sheet to do it.
Exactly. if you have a checkbook, I'd like to talk to you.
Okay, all right. So it is a question of moving ahead when you've got the money. Just explain a bit more about the infrastructure, because I think that's changed considerably, hasn't it, in the region? I think, am I right in saying there's a rail line that's coming too close to these two facilities?
There is a new rail line that was completed approximately 2 years ago, and they're building a village approximately 30 miles from where Clemente is proposed to be, which would reduce the transportation from approximately 240 miles that we're doing now by truck to 30, I said miles, I'm sorry, kilometers yeah. To 30 kilometers.
Yeah. Just to take us through as well, the timetable here, assuming the money does come through from Olisol and you do get recapitalized, what is your next year looking like? I mean, how far down the road are we going to get to a drill for Clemente?
Well, our first project would probably be the gas wells because it would take a very minimum amount of time to mobilize, and quickly we could hook those on. And with the new Chinese pipeline coming on, we would be able to greatly improve our production and our income, and we believe that we could do that within 12 months' time.
Okay, let's move on now to you and the company and your position within the business. Who is Kenneth May? What do you bring? Oh, first of all, why are you interested in Tethys?
I have known one of the principal owners for some time and consulted with him and got interested in the company. I see it as a challenge. I believe I bring some skills of having been in Kazakhstan some 20 years ago and operating another project in the Uzun oil field. And I also believe I was formerly in the military, retired colonel, and I believe I bring some management skills of people. And so that's what I believe I believe.
You are still interim CEO.
Yes, sir.
How do you see your future developing at the company? What are your aspirations?
In that manner, I don't have any aspirations. That is up for someone else to decide. I'll do the best that I can do, and then they can decide whether that's been good enough.
Okay, all right. I'd like to invite you back, obviously, to discuss the progress that you're making. When will be a good time to speak to you again? I mean, we're talking early next year. Do you see this time next year as being the big opportunity, or do you expect headlines to come through before then?
If we have capital, I expect headlines soon to follow, because we have actively worked on developing a program of work. We've identified what is needed. We've identified the proper vendors. All of that is in place. We just need capital funding with which to do so.
Okay, so we watch out for headlines on the capital front.
I hope.
Ken, we've got to leave it there, but thanks indeed for joining us. That's Kenneth May. He is the Interim Chief Executive of Tethys Petroleum.